We now know what caused a deadly helicopter crash in Pigeon Forge. That crash back in 2016 killed five people on board, including the pilot. The National Transportation Safety Board has now released its final report on what happened.
10 News reporter Cole Sullivan spoke with a crash investigator who says the pilot broke the controls trying to save that helicopter. Cole?
Robin and John, the investigator didn't work on this incident, but he says the NTSB report indicates the pilot pulled on the joystick so hard that it broke off before the chopper crashed.
It looks like he was fighting, trying his best to keep the aircraft flying.
Aviation accident investigator Randy Saferight says a number of factors caused the deadly crash, but it all started in the engine.
It appears the probable cause is failure of the fuel pump.
NTSB investigators say small parts inside the pump showed signs of unusual wear. An incorrectly sized part, called a spacer, could have let grease out and accelerated the breakdown, which eventually led to engine failure.
Something like that is usually hard to catch until you do have a failure.
The rotor was still spinning, but there was no power from the engine.
It's kind of like putting your car in neutral. You're going down the road, you got good speed, you put your car in neutral, your car still is going to be moving.
He says an emergency landing in that circumstance is one of the most difficult, and the helicopter wasn't very high to begin with.
You could see he was sinking, may not make that ridge, and human nature, and I know if I was put in the same position, I would try my best to squeak as much altitude out of that helicopter as possible.
It hit a tree on the ridge, and the 300 pounds of fuel on board exploded.
And helicopter fuel is something that it's glorified kerosene.
The helicopter was not equipped with a crash-resistant fuel system designed to prevent a fire. The aircraft was certified before it was legally required. Autopsies found at least 2 of the 5 on board might have lived if it weren't for that fire.
It had to have been a catastrophic, terrifying ride.
We reached out to the sightseeing company that operated the helicopter. They said they hadn't seen the final report and had no comment. John?